What wondrous times we live in. The world as it is today is a completely different one from when we entered port. Norway has surrendered. All hostilities have ceased. Belgium, overrun by our troops, also surrendered. Italy declared war on France and Britain. France itself surrendered. Our troops in Paris, somehow avoiding the meat grinder that was the trench warfare in the Great War. All of this happened so fast. The whole nation is sailing on a wave of euphoria and disbelief. Could this be the end of the war? Can we avoid the slaughter of whole generations on both sides, as we have seen in the Great War? Well, unfortunately there's one more enemy. One very stubborn enemy. England doesn't seem to be willing to give up. They even managed to evacuate the expeditionary force. Our propaganda calls it a goodwill gesture by the Führer, but nothing could be further from the truth. The Kriegsmarine and the Luftwaffe were completely unable to stop the evacuation, and our tank divisions did not have the strength left to capture Dunkirk in time. As I see it, there are now two possible ways forward. Either we somehow manage to sink the whole Royal Navy and invade England, which I think is not very likely, or we sink so many of their merchant ships that they cannot supply the island anymore and will be forced to surrender. This is our task, and we have to achieve it. It is the only way towards a swift peace. Our boat has received an unassuming but significant upgrade. A Kristalldreh-Basisgerät, or short KDB, was installed on the deck. This is a set of hydrophones that can be rotated by the hydrophone operator inside, completely eliminating the dead zone in front of the submarine. I'm sure that this will be very useful. We also had a few changes to our crew. Our helmsman, Lieutenant zur See Kurt Bahr, was transferred to another U-boat. His replacement will be Lieutenant zur See Horst Haag. This will be his first post-training deployment. We will have to keep an eye on him to see how he performs under stress. Matrosengefreiter Ludwig Müller, who also transferred to another U-boat, was replaced by Matrosenobergefreiter Siegfried Richter. With new crew members, new technology, and a new determination to sink as many English ships as we can, we are now leaving Wilhelmshaven, going out on our 9th war patrol. After a few days at sea, we have finally reached AN-41, our new patrol area east of the Orkneys. Our purpose here is to intercept English warships that are sailing from Scapa Flow into the North Sea. Because of the very frequent air patrols, we have to stay submerged during the daylight hours. We can only use the very few hours of darkness that we get to surface and recharge our batteries. The sea is deeper in our new patrol area than it was in our previous one, with depths up to 80 meters. This gives me confidence that the area is not mined. This does allow me to put the boat through its paces, and I order frequent diving exercises. Not only does it serve to discover minor leaks before they become big problems, it also keeps the crew's minds occupied, distracting them from the dangers flying in the air above us and sharing the sea with us. It also prevents boredom from building up inside the boat. It's really not a fun experience to be trapped inside a metal tube for almost a whole day. There's only so many games of cards you can play before you would rather eat the whole set than play another one. The diving exercises reassure the crew that our boat is very well built. It masters even rapid depth changes without any issues. There are no leaks reported. Our hydrophone operator has discovered a new SAN contact. Our new KDB allows us to point the boat directly at it, and within minutes we know the contact's rough direction of travel, enough to set up an intercept course. We surface the boat and begin the hunt for our first target of this patrol. The weather is poor, the storm is approaching, but the waves are not too high yet, so we should be able to make good speed. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of this amazing Silent Hunter 3 campaign. We are of course playing with the GWX OneAlex Edition, and we have just encountered a merchant that we've been steaming towards. There he is, appearing out of the fog. Don't know what it is yet, I don't know the nationality, but in these waters I think it's pretty safe to assume that it is English.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Schnorcheltiefe.
Wrong button, but doesn't matter.
172.
I wanted to turn the boat, but we need to dive anyway, so let's just do that. We are diving.
Jawohl,
Bring
Herr
him to
Kaloin.
periscope depth.
Auf Zero-Tiefe gehen.
Let's make sure that all stations are manned appropriately. Get somebody on the sonar. The watch crew, they can take a break. Let me organize all of this. Yeah, let's give a break to the watch crew. Torpedo room is well manned. Everything else is pretty much set up for our attack here. And we are slipping beneath the waves. There we go. The sonar operator should detect the target pretty soon. Engine crew, they are fairly well rested. I don't need to exchange them yet. Okay. Let's come to the attack periscope and let's raise that so that we can take a look at the target. There he is. I have no idea if it's coming directly towards me or not. It's still too far away to estimate his angle on bow precisely. So we need to wait a bit for the range to get closer. By the way, we are in... I didn't get a weather report before I dived, but I think these waves, they should correspond to a wind speed of about 6 to 8 meters per second, which will require our torpedoes to be set to at least 3 meters. So it's good to keep that in mind while we close the distance. Now, closing the distance with this merchant, I think I'm starting to see part of his hull there, so I think he's going from right to left through my periscope. Not exactly sure, but it certainly seems that way. Yeah, he is, I think. So there's multiple ways how we can try to attack this guy. There's multiple ways to do that. We could try to use the Ausdämpferverfahren, although it seems that we have enough time to cross his course. And if we can do that, then I will know his precise course and we can set up a nice 90-degree attack. It seems to be a single merchant. As I said, not sure about the nationality or anything. So let's actually do that. Turn the boat, high speed. Let's lower the periscope. Doing this will of course take some time. So let me make a little cut in the video here and we'll resume it once I'm in a better position. Welcome back. We are almost in a position where we are directly in front of the target. Let me show you. I don't want to raise the periscope too much, but as you can see right now, the masts and the funnel, they are almost all overlapping. And once they do, we are directly in front of him and we know precisely which way he's going. So that will allow us to set up a nice and easy 90-degree shot. We just have to wait for the masts to overlap right now. Oh, a little bit of thunder, nice, and lightning. Okay, so remember this is literally the easiest way in the game to get the target's AOB. Just find out which way he's going by sailing across his course. If you have enough time to do that, and if the target is not zigzagging, then this is incredibly effective and easy. A really good method for new players which are starting out early in the war when merchant ships aren't zigzagging all the time, usually. So, now, as I said, just waiting for the masts to overlap, and I can see what appears to be a red flag on the second mast. That indicates that we might be looking at a British ship, in which case he's fair game. Let's lower the periscope a bit, I don't want to get spotted, if I can avoid it. At this speed, we are not going super fast, but at this speed the periscope is throwing up a nice wake behind itself. A periscope feather, as it is called. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Once the masts and the funnels, once everything overlaps, I will make note of the bearing. Because using the attack disc, I will then be able to determine the target's course. And I will want to make a note on the map of my own position at that moment. So let's wait for that to happen. We are almost there. I don't know how big that ship is, but it seems to me as if it is rolling a bit in the waves, indicating that it is not a huge ship. Let's see. Come on. We really are almost there. Actually, we might want to slow down a touch. For starters, this will make my periscope less visible by reducing the wake behind it, and it will give myself a bit more time to determine if everything is overlapping or not. But I think we are basically there at a bearing of 113 degrees. It's good to be as precise as possible here. I suspect 113... no, it's overlapping. Right about now. Okay. 113 and a half? Or 114 even? Okay, now everything is one line. We have it. 113 and a half. Or is it 114? No, 113 and a half. Okay, down periscope. Let me go to the map. Make a note of my own position. That's number one. Good. Okay. Now we go to the attack disc. And I know that at this bearing here, the by the way, the small pointer here, it's always pointing in the direction where you have turned your periscope to. So now I just align these two, and now I know that the target is sailing on this course, and that's pretty nice. That's very nice actually. Really, really nice. So he is sailing on a course of, what is that even? 7.5 degrees. Yes, 7.5 degrees. And let's just use the mark that we made to draw this out. So I'm starting here. And we are gonna go 7.5 this way. So he will continue on this course. And might as well draw a line indicating from where he's coming right now. Let me make a nice good line here. There we go, and now I'll just move that one to the mark. There we go. Now we have on our map a nice line indicating everything. Yeah, it's not working on higher zoom levels, which is unfortunate. Yeah, okay, let's not do it like that then. That's silly. That is actually silly. Okay. Let's do it like this then. First of all, let's... Now, which line am I deleting here? Let's delete this one. Let's draw a new line with the ruler tool. 7.5 degree in that direction, 352.5 in the other direction. Come on. Ah, no, I'm silly. I did this wrong. Yeah, that's why I'm confused all the time. Well, during the last minute I thought something is wrong here. Okay. Probably some of you have been screaming at the screen for me to notice that I'm drawing this wrong. 7.5 degrees. This way. Do you know this feeling of slight confusion when your inner senses are telling you that you messed something up, but you haven't quite thought of it yet? About what exactly it is? That's what I was feeling during the last 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so 7.5 degree that way, 187.5 the other way, of course. Let's draw this to here. So I know he's coming somewhere along this line. Now, what will I do next? First of all, let me speed up the boat. I want to increase my range to his track to about 1 kilometer, more or less. Doesn't really matter if I'm super precise or not. So I want to take my boat and I want to sail to a parallel line, which is about 1 kilometer away. Let's go ahead and do that. Then I will turn on a parallel course with him. And I will take measurements, just taking bearing readings and marking his position on his own course line. That will allow me to determine his speed with a fair degree of accuracy. But first of all, we need to increase our distance a little bit. 1 kilometer is pretty good. That still allows me to turn in and fire. I might even do more than 1 kilometer. Coming up to 1.7. Stop the turn. Now the boat will swing back towards 107. But this is good. This is very good. This worked out very well. Okay, let's go to the periscope at this time. Hydrophone. Direction to contact. 202. Contact is that way. Contact. What are we looking at? It's a small ship, unfortunately. Fortunately, that's on the smaller side of things. But it'll do. It'll do, of course. Okay, here's what we are going to do. Down periscope. And let me mark my own position in a moment. Back to the periscope, raise it. Place the center of the periscope directly on the funnel. Start the clock. Come on. There we go. Start the clock again. Bearing 202. Down periscope. I will have to move the mark a little bit. I want to be as precise as possible. Bearing 202. Let me go to the weapons officer. That bearing puts all of this on a course of 209.5. So I need to draw a line 209.5, which is this way, and this intersects the target's course right here. So all that I did right now is to mark down my own position, take a reading of the bearing, draw a line on that bearing that intersects the target's course, and place down a mark. I will now wait 3 minutes and 15 seconds. After 3 minutes and 15 seconds have passed, I will do the same thing again. And I will know the target speed. It's magic. No, it isn't. It's actually mathematics. But it's pretty cool. It's a cool and easy method. There's the target. I'm waiting for 3 minutes and 15. Hydrophone operator. Report. Actually, keep me updated on the target. Can you do that?
Frachter kommt näher auf 203.
203. 2 minutes have almost passed. We are getting there. Let's take a quick look. It's not a big ship. Is he changing his course? I'm not quite sure. Let's take another look.
Frachter auf 204.
No,
kommt
he
näher.
maintains course. Everything's good. Everything is good. Of course, some of you will say you can do this method that I'm doing now with the periscope. You can do it simply with the hydrophone. Yes, you could, but hydrophones were really not so precise that you could tell the bearing to an accuracy of 1 degree. Okay. And there he is, 204.5. Note the on position, which was roughly here. 204.5, weapons officer. That means I need to due out to 211.5. 211.5, come on, there we go. 211.5, there we go. And that intersects his course right here. Let me hit that. There we go. And now, what I'll do is I'll take this tool and I'll draw the distance here on his course.
Frachter auf 205. Kommt näher.
And it's giving me a distance of 680 meters that he traveled in 3 minutes and 15. That translates directly to him going at a speed of 6.7 knots. Let's dial this in. Something like this. I will keep refining this. We'll take another reading. We have time. But this is already pretty good. Let me bring the periscope to a 0 degree position. We will be shooting at a 90 degree starboard bow. And we will be shooting at a range something like this. Doesn't really matter. I'll just set this in. You'll see what I mean by that doesn't really matter. We have now prepared the firing solution. Let me now prepare the torpedoes as well. We are shooting tubes 1 and 4. This will be a salvo. There we go.
Frachter auf 206. Kommt näher.
Impact pistols, both torpedoes. I cannot set the speed because they are obviously electric torpedoes. So I can't do anything there. I need to estimate his draft. It's a small ship. It is a small ship. Let's give it a draft of about 6 meters maybe. So let me just put the torpedoes at 3.5 meters. Okay, 6 minutes have passed. In half a minute I'm taking another reading here. He's pretty slow, which is fine. Okay, time to take the reading. The next bearing
Frachter auf 207. Kommt näher.
is right this way. 207. Mark my own position. 207 means I need to draw the line towards 214 degrees this time. Oops. 214 degrees. There we go. And what I'll do now is I'll take the circle that I have already drawn, which gives me the distance, and I can grab this and simply drag it along and see if this is still matching up. And yes, it is. You can see the distance is more or less the same. Maybe it's just slightly longer, which indicates that we are closer to 7 knots. Yeah, that's closer to 7 knots.
208. Kommt näher.
But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This means that we are making this... We are making the right things here. We are doing everything as we should. And I'll dial in 7 knots. There we go. Not a huge difference, but, you know, every little bit helps. The next reading we are taking at 9 minutes 45 seconds. That will be once again 3 minutes and 15 after the previous reading. But right now, let's just go over our firing parameters again. AOB is set up for a 90-degree shot. Range will be more or less okay. And it doesn't matter with a 90-degree shot anyways. The speed, dialed in perfectly. Selected tubes 1 and 4. Selected impact pistols. Selected a depth of 3.5 meters, which should be okay for this weather and this type of target.
209. Kommt näher.
Thank you very much. And everything's okay. Nothing should go wrong right now. We should be perfectly alright here. We just need to wait for the target to catch up. We could, to verify our results, we could turn our stern towards him and take another speed reading with the method where he passes directly behind us. That's a possibility. But first, let's take another speed reading like this. Half a minute. He's now on bearing 209. There he is. He's getting closer. Slowly but surely he's getting closer. Closer to his own doom, that is. Come on.
Frachter auf 210. Kommt näher.
I'm ready to take the next measurement here. And bingo. 210. Periscope down, own position, right around here. Warp weapons officer 210 degrees translates to a true course of 217. Let's draw that. 217 is exactly this way. And once again, we are simply taking the measurement that we made previously and we are moving it up to here. And it's still okay. I have a very high confidence that we made the right decision here. Everything's set up perfectly. I think so. Yeah, I think so indeed. I think we can actually turn around and attack. Yeah. You know what? We'll do that. We are going to do that. But we will take another speed reading through the periscope. And there's a reason for that. Okay, turn the boat to... Oh, I don't know. Turn this way.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 5-8.
Start turning.
Frachter auf 212. Kommt näher.
Hydrophone, you don't have to keep me updated right now, because that will become extremely annoying.
Frachter auf 205. Kommt näher.
We are turning the boat. Get to the periscope. Periscope aft. There he is. Let's lower the periscope a little bit. And stop the turn.
Ruder 0 Grad.
Oh yeah, we turned way too far, but that's okay. The boat will need a moment to stabilize. It will now swing back in the other direction. You can see it on the degree scale down here. So you always need to wait a little moment after turning. You see how violently it bounces back towards the other direction. Stop the clock, reset it. Yeah, actually I need to turn more.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ruder 7 Grad Steuerbord.
The harder you turn, the stronger the bounce back will be. So let's just turn a little bit once again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ruder 0 Grad.
Rudder 0. There we go. Okay. Once again, we're waiting for this to stabilize, which should happen by the time he passes through our crosshairs. And the reason why I'm doing this speed reading is twofold. First of all, it will help me to verify the speed that I already measured. That's one thing. The second thing is, I will get the target's length, which will help me to get a better estimation of its actual size. Start the clock. It's a small one, I can tell that much. But I want to know how small it is. It is armed though. He has a gun on the stern. Up periscope. Ready. Stop the clock. One gun on the stern, definitely. Okay, that was only 20 seconds. 20 seconds at the speed of 7 knots would mean that the target has a length of 73 meters. Yeah, that's what I thought, about 75 meters in length. So really a pretty small target. Should I even fire 2 torpedoes at this one? Yeah, I should. Regardless of all that, I should fire 2 torpedoes to ensure a kill. Should I? I should. Full turn. Full turn, come on, bring us to starboard. I did say that the target is traveling on a speed, on a course of 7 knots. That means I need to set up a 90-degree shot. Let me do it maybe like this here. If the target is traveling... Oh, come on. Don't be weird. There we go. If he's traveling on a course of 7 knots, then to fire a nice 90-degree shot at him, I need to come to... what is that? 280... 83? Does that make sense? Yes. 283. Okay. 283. This way,
Jawohl, Herr
please.
Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 283.
And we are going over to the hydrophone. Where is he? There he is. Is there anything else? No. Just him. Just him, nothing else. And we are turning quite nicely there. Okay. Hydrophone. Current degrees to target. No sound contact. That doesn't seem right. There he is. The hydrophone currently has trouble picking him up and keeping him in this... in the hydrophone detection. Because we are turning so fast. But this is going well. I will have to set up the spread angle for the torpedo salvo. That's something that I still need to do. It will be quite small, I imagine. That's alright though. Still turning hard. Bring this up to 1 kilometer.
Kontakt, Frachter, kommt näher.
We establish contact.
7, mittlere Entfernung.
There he is. Yeah, we have to turn a bit faster here, maybe. Increase speed.
Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
Come on, turn faster. We will now keep closing the distance. Hydrophone. Report contact. I need to keep him past 345 degrees. But we are turning very nicely, so that shouldn't be a problem. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, the turn is slowing down. (282), 283, hydrophone. Contact is at 327, so we still have time. Everything was done well. Okay. Still turning. Stop the turn now.
Ruder 0 Grad.
We are now bouncing back.
Ruder 1 Grad Steuerbord.
Give me a bit of rudder to counteract that. And to bring it to 283.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Ruder 0 Grad.
Good. That should work. Let's verify our results. Weapons officer. Target course 7 degrees. That's being weird again. Jesus Christ, stop being weird. Okay, here we go. Target course is... come on, 7 degrees. Oh. And there we go. And I do need to come to... 283. Yes, everything's well. Okay. Let me actually do it like this. 7 degrees, where is it? Target course, 7 degrees. We are setting up for... 7 degrees is over here. We are setting up for a 90-degree shot at... no, wait. Did I do it wrong again? 277 would be right. As I said before, you know that feeling when you think something is a bit wrong, but you can't quite put the finger on it. Come on. 277.
Ruder 8 Grad Backbord.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 277.
Now it's getting a bit hairy here. We will have to fire very soon. Open the tubes! Both tubes are open. Spread angle. 2 degrees is fine. Bring it a bit down. Ready to fire. Torpedoes. Go. Down periscope. Both torpedoes are running towards the target. Now I need to wait for the target to pass my course. So far so good. Reloading of torpedoes has started automatically. Nice. There he comes. There he comes. Okay, hydrophone. Keep me updated on the contact.
Frachter, Entfernung gleichbleibend auf 351.
Prepare torpedo for follow-up shot.
Frachter auf 353. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Torpedo prepared for follow-up shot.
Frachter auf 354. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Come on, be a hit.
Frachter auf 356. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Where's the periscope? Okay, we judged his AOB and his course perfectly.
7. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
He will now be at 90 degrees, so everything worked out really well. Speed should be right too. We made enough measurements to verify that, but still I don't see an explosion. Crap. I don't see an explosion.
Frachter auf 1. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Both torpedoes failed. Oh, this is a good start to the patrol. Range to targets.
Frachter auf 3. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Should be about 1 kilometer. Maybe slightly more, but that's okay.
Frachter auf 5.
Open the tube.
Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Get ready for this follow-up shot. This will be a steam-driven torpedo, of course, so this is leaving a wake behind itself.
Frachter auf 7.
Fire!
Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Alles im Wasser. Los!
Down periscope. Torpedo did turn.
Frachter auf 8. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Let's observe. Can I get into a gun duel with this guy?
Frachter auf 1-1. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Small caliber gun in the back. Nothing major. Still, I would not want to do that if I can avoid it.
Frachter auf 1-3. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Did he detect torpedoes? That's the question right now. I think he is turning.
Frachter auf 1-6. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
He must have spotted the bubble trail of the steam torpedo. Potentially.
Frachter auf 1-8. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
I think he must have spotted it.
Frachter auf 2-0. Entfernung gleichbleibend.
Yeah, we have a detonation somewhere behind him. That was one of the faulty torpedoes.
Frachter auf 2-3. Entfernt sich.
Come on, come on, come on. Give me a result here. No.
Frachter auf 2-5.
Another failure.
Entfernt sich.
Can't believe it. Seriously? He's at 2-7. Where's the torpedo?
Frachter auf 2-7. Entfernt sich. Frachter auf 2-9. Entfernt sich.
Do I hear a torpedo here?
Torpedo hat Ziel verfehlt, Herr Kaloy.
Frachter auf 3-0. Entfernt sich.
Torpedo missed. All torpedoes have missed the target.
Frachter auf 3-2. Entfernt sich.
And he is starting to maneuver, I think. So he
Frachter
definitely
auf
did
3-3
spot
entfernt sich.
the bubble trail. Hydrophone, normal sweep. Attack has failed. Yeah, I need to send an officer to the torpedo room. Sure, let's do that. Torpedo officer to the torpedo room. Let's start the reloads. But I'm not re-attacking. 3 torpedoes for a small target and every single one failed. Ah, that's a good start to a new patrol. Damn it. That's extremely unfortunate. But you know, there's nothing you can do. It is what it is. It is what it is. Navigator, return us to course.
Gehen wieder auf Kurs, Herr Kaloy.
We will continue our search pattern in this area. We are letting this guy go. It is what it is. Sometimes you set up a perfect attack, nothing could go wrong, you have all the perimeters right, and then all your torpedoes fail. But that's perfectly normal for this time of the war. Trust me, your troubles with torpedoes in this game, I see that a lot in the Discord of the OneAlex Edition chat mod. I see that a lot in the Discord where people chat, and a lot of new players are complaining that the torpedo failure rate is absurd. Or very high at least. Your troubles are nothing compared to the troubles that the U-boat captains had historically. So many of their torpedoes failed in really stupid ways. They veered completely off course, they went deep. Some torpedoes veered so much off course that they circled back around and came towards the submarine again. It was, I wouldn't say hilarious, but in a sense, yes, it was. I'm sure it wasn't for the submarine crews, but for everybody else involved, that must have been pretty hilarious to see a torpedo trail running in circles on the surface. But yeah, your troubles are nothing compared to what has happened historically, and my settings are tuned a bit to represent that. My settings are a bit harsher than what would be visible normally in the OneAlex Edition. But that's just the way that I play. I try to play as historically as possible. Let's lower the periscope, bring the boat down 70.5 meters, we are disengaging. We are out of here. Well, first engagement of the patrol, unfortunately not a sunk ship, but I think it showcased pretty well how you can set up an attack. Even a new player can set up an attack like this. And you don't need any auto-targeting or something like that. You can just do manual targeting and it will work out very well for you, even without map contacts and anything. So that's a very easy method to do it. Now, if you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to tell me in the comments. I love reading your feedback, trust me. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, because some of you aren't, and you don't want to miss out on the next episode where we will most definitely blow up something, right? Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. I wish you some really good days. Until next time, goodbye.